In this video, I'll explain how to understand the equation of a straight line. So, start off with, the equation of a straight line is as follows. You have y is equal to mx plus c. Y is just the letter y. M refers to the gradient, the gradient of the line. X will stay as x, and C is where it crosses the y-axis. So y equals mx plus c. M is your gradient, c is where it crosses the y-axis. You need to know that. I'll explain this in the graph. So, we have two axes. We have the y-axis and we have the x-axis. Let's say we have a line that isn't very straight, but let's pretend it is. A straight line. It crosses through the point 1, goes at 1, 2, 3, let's call that 2, 3, and it starts at 0, 0. So, we know that the line crosses at 1, so we know what our C will be. So now we just have to work out the gradient. And all the gradient means is the change in the y values divided by the change in the x values. So we have a gradient going that way. So we find the difference between this change in y divided by the change in x. So basically you draw a triangle at any point on your line. Pick a triangle that goes through main points. It makes your life a lot easier. So in this case, the change in y, so basically the length of the y of this triangle, so the difference is 1, 2. So we know that that's 2. So we know that the change in y is 2 on this triangle. And then the change in x is 1, 2, 2 as well. So, to find the gradient of this, we divide the change in y by the change in x. So in this case, it will be 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So to write this graph in equation form, we would write y is equal to the gradient, which in this case was 1, x plus c, which is where it crosses the y-axis, which is 1. So the equation of this line would be y equals x plus 1. Let's say I have a question where you can't see the graph, so you can't count the change in y or the change in x to find the gradient, or see where it crosses the y-axis. But let's just say that you know that it tells you that the gradient is 3 and it goes through a point 2, 5. So it tells you that there's a straight line, it's got a gradient of 3 and it goes through the point 2, 5. So, different way of writing it, you have y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. This is a very important equation for you to remember. This coordinate shows us that it goes through the x coordinate is 2 and the y coordinate is 5. So what we're going to do, we're going to swap these y1, this x1 and this m. So we know that a y coordinate it goes through is 5. So we'll rub that out. On right 5. Its gradient, which it told us was 3. And it goes through an x coordinate of 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to simplify this. So you have y minus 5 is equal to times the 3 by the x times the 3 by the minus 2. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. Then what we're going to do, we're going to take that 5 over there. So we have y equals 3x minus 6 plus 5, which equals y equals 3x minus 1. So as you can see, the gradient is 3 and it crosses the y-axis at minus 1. Let's say for an example, in the question it doesn't give you the gradient, so how would you work it out? So let's say it gave you two coordinates, 2, 3, 7 and 6. So what we're going to do, we're going to label this x1, we're going to label this y1, we're going to label this x2 and y2. x1 because it's the x coordinate, y1, y coordinate, x2, x coordinate, y2, y coordinate. So to find the gradient, it's the change in y divided by the change in x. So what we do, we put y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This gives you the gradient. M is the gradient, so just this. M is the gradient. So as long as you write in this order, you'll be fine and you won't get the gradient confused. So it's the y2 minus the y1. The x2 is directly underneath it. So you've got x2 minus x1. So what we're going to do, put them in. So y2 equals 6. y1 equals 3. x2 is 7. x1 is 2. Solve that, it's 3 over 5. So the gradient is 3 over 5. So to find the equation of this line now, you know that m is 3 over 5. So we're going to do y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Same as earlier. Pick any point. So you can either use this coordinate or you can use this coordinate. In this case I'm going to use the first coordinate. So we'll swap the y1. Doesn't matter which coordinate you use as long as you're consistent. y1, which is 3. Your gradient, which as we found out before was 3 over 5. And your x1, which is 2. Rearrange that, it'll give you y equals 3 over 5x plus 9 over 5. And that is how you find the equation of a straight line when it gives you two coordinates.